You're watching college softball on the SEC Network, and boy, is it good to be back for day one of the Easton Bama Bash, featuring a clash between the Evansville Purple Aces out of the Missouri Valley and the number 2 ranked Alabama Crimson Tide here in Tuscaloosa. And we welcome you to the booth alongside my All-American partner, Kate Brooks. I'm Gray Robertson. Kira Goldstein will be along in just a moment. Kate, softball's back. It's so good to be back, and what a weekend we've got here in Tuscaloosa at the Easton Bama Bash.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so excited to see Alabama on their home field and just attacking great pitches and just seeing some great softball all around from all the teams. It's going to be a great weekend. I'm so excited to get started.
Yeah, and Evansville is going to try and get the offense rolling. That wasn't a problem in week one, and for more on that, let's go to the third member of our team, Kira Goldstein.
Yeah, Gray. Evansville has been on a really hot streak. They started their season 5-0, which is one of the best starts for the program in over 20 years. Coach Mundell said that he characterizes this team as extremely competitive. He called them fighters. He said they're going to come out here and battle in every game and give each opponent their absolute best.
Thank you, Kira. Yeah, Evansville red hot at the plate after week one, first in all those categories in the Missouri Valley, including batting average and slugging percentage. Did lose earlier today to Middle Tennessee to drop to 5-1, but still a very potent lineup for the Purple Aces and their head coach, Matt Mundell. And they will face in the circle the sophomore for the University of Alabama out of Dothan, Jayla Torrance.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what Jayla has to offer out on the field for the first time this season. We're really excited. You know, she throws low 70s, really relies on change, keeping the ball low, drop, curve, really, you know, mixing it up.
And here we go from Rhodes. Called strike one to the Purple Aces leadoff hitter, Jessica Fair, and off we go. Jessica Fair, the senior from Cincinnati, Ohio, was 0 for 3 this morning against Middle Tennessee. And here is the starting lineup for the Purple Aces. There you see Fair up the top. Sydney Weatherford, very impressive freshman, batting in the 2 spot. Also keep an eye out for Jenna List, the junior, batting cleanup. Wind blowing in hard. The 1-1 is fouled off, 1-2.
Yeah, as you can see, she's really leaving the ball outside. You know, we're trying to get the ball to the right side so we can get that out at first.
Very chilly day here in Tuscaloosa. Some storms blew in on Thursday. They brought this cold front. 1-2. Off speed high, 2-2. Jayla Torrance out of Dothan, Alabama. Her dad, Jeff, played football here in Tuscaloosa from 92 to 95. Torrance, a solid performance against Southern Utah last weekend, a 1-hit shutout in 5 innings. So that one misses, count runs full.
Yeah, this is a crucial pitch right here. You know, she's really trying to keep the ball down and give her players an opportunity to make some plays. And as a hitter, you're really trying to attack. In this count, you're trying to get something started and just get the game going. It's, you know, such a great matchup right now.
We'll do it again, 3-2. Fair, a second-team All-Missouri Valley Conference selection last year, hit .318 with 17 RBIs. Struggled in opening weekend, 2 for 17. Another payoff. Over the head of Torrance, and Evansville has a leadoff single here in the first.
That was a great job, you know, attacking that pitch and getting it up the middle. I mean, your goal as a hitter is just to hit that up the middle and get something started for your team. As a leadoff hitter, you're trying to get on base. That's your only goal. So she really attacked that and was successful in her at-bat.
Alabama defense with Johnson in left, Goodnight in center, Savannah Woodard getting a start out in right field. Prangy at third, Dowling at short, Bloodworth at second, Tao at first, and Aubrey Barnhart getting her first career start behind the plate. As Sydney Weatherford takes strike one. Talented freshman out of Clarksville, Tennessee. Played 3 sports at Clarksville High School. Week 1 Missouri Valley Newcomer of the Week. Hit 400 opening weekend, but struggled against Middle Tennessee, was 0 for 4 with a couple Ks. Quickly 0-2.
And you'll see she's really working down right now because your goal as a pitcher is to get that ball on the ground to try and get that double play at second and at first. So, you know, she's really trying to work down, keep the ball low, and, you know, attack that zone.
As a pitcher, Kate, is it tough when the wind is blowing from behind you towards the plate as hard as it is right now?
You know, I used to hope that it would really make my pitch go a little faster, so it might work in her favor.
See where Torrance goes on the 0-2. See at 42 degrees. It says 9 miles per hour. I'd venture to guess a little faster. So that one misses 1 and 2.
Yeah, that's a great job by Torrance. You know, 0-2 count. You want to keep the ball a little bit off the plate, keep it low, and she's really just trying to make that batter chase something out of the zone a little bit.
Swing and a miss, and Torrance has her first K, 1 down.
Yeah, as you can see, the pitch before that was a little bit lower, a little bit more away. She came in an inch and really attacked that zone, and that was a great job by Torrance.
Here's Mara Wood, sophomore from Brownsburg, Indiana. 3-time Missouri Valley Conference Newcomer of the Week last year. First pitch, hard foul. Wood, 3rd in the MVC in runs scored. Was 6 of 15 in opening weekend with 4 RBIs, couple doubles. But 0 for 3 earlier today against Middle Tennessee. Game in which Evansville really struggled to hit the ball. Just 3 hits against the Blue Raiders. Did she go? Yes, she did. Another K for Jayla Torrance.
Yeah, she really mixed it up. She, you know, she threw some off speed and then came up in on that last pitch. So she's really trying to work the zone, work the count as a pitcher. That's your whole goal, is really just to make things happen, and she did.
Jenna Liss, cleanup hitter, junior from Newburgh, Indiana. Trying to move fair from first. Sees the first pitch strike.
Yeah, she's just really trying to get something through the infield and, you know, give her team an opportunity to get that runner in scoring position.
Evansville was 1 for 8 against Middle Tennessee with runners on. Quickly, Torrance ahead 0-2.
Yeah, you can see Torrance is really working outside in the zone today, and so I think that's just, you know, really keeping it low and forcing those ground balls and swings and misses.
Swing and a miss, and Torrance, after the leadoff single, strikes out the side. No score here in Tuscaloosa. Alabama bats coming up when we get back here on day 1 of the Easton Bama Bash in Tuscaloosa. Off to the bottom of the first here at Rhodes Stadium, and Evansville turning to the senior Izzy Vetter in the circle. Vetter last year 3rd in the Missouri Valley Conference in strikeouts.
Yeah, you're really going to see Vetter attack with that rise, curve, and screw, you know, mixing it up on both sides of the plate and staying a little bit more up in the zone.
And Vetter will face an Alabama offense that showed a lot of power in week 1. Ten home runs out in Tucson. Good for first in the SEC, and it all starts at the top with Jenna Johnson, the junior from Franklin, Tennessee. Dallas Goodnight, the very versatile center fielder backing her up in the 2 spot. Johnson out of Page High School. He's battled some injuries the last couple years, was out for a good portion of 2021, but on opening weekend hit .500 in the 1 spot of the order with a .533 OBP, which is something Patrick Murphy likes to see from the person in the 1 spot in his order. And a 4-pitch walk to start things off. Johnson is aboard.
Yeah, you know, Vetter's definitely keeping it a little bit high in the zone, so she's going to need to start to work down a little bit to get a little bit more success. But, you know, first batter is on first, and now we're going to attack on second.
Yeah, Goodnight stepping in as we take a look at the Evansville infield. Wood at third, Fair at short, McFerrin at second, Wolf at first, Liss behind the plate, and that one plunks Goodnight. So immediately 2 on, nobody out for the Crimson Tide.
Yeah, as a hitter right now, you're really just trying to poke something through, put your runner on second and third, and really get something going for the Alabama offense.
Dallas Goodnight was hit by a couple pitches in Tucson, and now a chance for the 3-time All-American Kaylee Tao. Graduate student from Madisonville, Kentucky, the lone senior on the team. 2-time All-SEC, pre-law major. Struggled a bit in opening weekend, was 2 for 10 with 3 RBIs and a .385 on-base percentage. And right now, Kate Vetter really struggling to find the strike zone.
Yeah, I mean, she's really definitely trying to keep it away from Tao, trying to get the ball on the left side of the field to try and get that lead out at third. So she just needs to keep the ball a little bit lower and attack the zone with a couple more strikes.
Swing and a miss, 2-1. Vetter, the Week 1 Missouri Valley Conference Pitcher of the Week. First in the league in ERA, strikeouts, opponent batting average. But has struggled with the control here early. A walk and a hit by pitch. And now a full count to Kaylee Tao.
Yeah, Vetter's got to keep the ball a little bit lower if she wants to have a little bit more success on the mound. And, you know, she got those 2 strikes with that screwball. So, you know, look to see that pitch a little bit more, as that's a little bit more in control today.
Coach Mundell said that screwball is her most consistent. Payoff is fouled back, yep.
Yeah, I think we'll be seeing that pitch a lot, you know, and she starts to control her rise ball a little bit, get that a little bit more in the zone, and then, you know, mix it up with that screw and really, you know, attack that zone, which is the most important thing as a pitcher. You really want to make things happen and, you know, make them work for it.
And that hits Kaylee Tao. Bases loaded on 3 free passes. Not what you were looking for if you're Evansville, but Alabama with a chance here in the bottom of the first. Just right off that elbow. And now a heck of an opportunity for the freshman, Aubrey Barnhart, getting her first start as a member of the Crimson Tide out of Pleasant View, Tennessee. 2020 Tennessee Gatorade Player of the Year, the #3 recruit, according to Extra Innings Softball.
And as a pitcher, right now, you know, bases loaded, but that's also a great opportunity. You know, if you keep the ball down and get something on the ground, then you can get those outs. And so, you know, she has an opportunity to really get some outs right now because there's a lot of runners on.
Brief pause as the Alabama athletic training staff went out to chat with Kaylee Tao. She seems fine. Good to go. Bases loaded, nobody out.
What a great situation as a hitter. You're really just looking to attack the ball. You know, you want to hit it down, or, you know, even a pop-up might score that run. So you're really just trying to hit it out of the infield and make things happen.
First pitch to Barnhart is high. Ball 1. And if you're Alabama right now, Kate, are you just saying, hey, lay off? until she can throw a couple strikes in a row?
Yeah, I mean, I was more of a picky hitter, so for me, I was definitely going to make that pitcher work and bring it down in the zone, something that I could drive.
That's in there for a strike, 1-1.
Yeah, it looks like that screw is a go-to, so as a hitter, you're really looking for that pitch, since you know that's one of her more consistent pitches as you're in more of a hitter count, and 1-1 right now.
Upstairs, 2-1. Alabama on opening weekend hit .469 with runners in scoring position. Big cut, 2-2.
Yeah, she definitely, saw that screwball and attacked. So, as a veteran, that should give you some confidence to go back with that pitch. And, you get a little bit more control, you get more confidence, and then your game changes a little bit better for the positive.
Swing and a miss. Big time strikeout from Vetter, 1 down.
Yeah, that one had a little bit of an up on it, upspin there. So that was juicy as a hitter. You want to hit that out of the park, and as a pitcher, that's a great spot.
Big swing from Bailey Dowling, the sophomore out of St. Joseph, Illinois. Good to see Dowling back in the lineup after the ACL injury last year. Two for 9 out in Tucson with the home run.
Now Vetter's seeing a little bit more right-handed hitter, so we'll see that curveball a little bit more, and try and get it on that right side of the field and, get another out.
Bases loaded. Johnson at third, Goodnight at second, Tao at first. Nice pitch, 1-2.
Yeah, right now Vetter's really trying to establish her zone and attack on those screwballs and curveballs and make sure they're a little bit lower in the zone, since she does have that rise ball she can go up with, so her down stuff's got to stay a little bit lower.
Straight up over us. We'll do it again.
You know, 1-2 count as a hitter, you're trying to hit something down through the ball and get it, poke it through that infield.
Hammered foul.
Yeah, that was a curveball, a little overcooked, a little up and out on that pitch. So right now, Vetter's trying to get that pitch a little bit lower, so we make sure the balls are remaining down in the zone, especially on that curveball.
Dowling, well hit. If it's fair, it's gone. It's foul.
Yeah, that was a great piece of hitting, just attacking that pitch. You know, she was all over that.
Alabama had a grand slam in the first inning of the first game last weekend, and Dowling was just a couple feet away from a grand slam here in the first game of the second weekend. Another 2-2 upcoming. Full count.
Yeah, Vetter's definitely throwing a lot of pitches right now, and as Alabama offense, they're seeing a lot of her stuff, so their patience at the plate is enabling them to really see as many pitchers and see what she has to offer, so they're ready for that next pitch.
Dowling, again foul.
Yeah, you know, Dowling's a little ahead of the ball right now as Vetter doesn't throw too terribly hard, so I mean, she's really trying to, you know, be a little bit more patient as she's had 2 foul balls to the left side, just a bit ahead of it.
This will be the 10th pitch of the at-bat to Bailey Dowling. She drew 2 walks in the Tucson tournament on similarly long at-bats. Not something we saw much from her as a freshman when she had 14 strikeouts compared to 4 walks. That misses, and that's an RBI walk for Bailey Dowling, and Alabama strikes first.
Yeah, Vetter's really trying to get her control right now. You know, they're not really swinging at her up stuff, so she's got to start working down. And that, you know, as a rise ball pitcher, you know, when you can rely on that and have to go to your low stuff, we got to have that control. So she's going to really work on her control throughout this inning and try and get some outs for her team.
Here's Abby Dorr. First pitch strike to the junior from Eugene, Oregon, out of Elmira High School. 2 of 8 on opening weekend with 4 RBIs and a home run. That homer, a 3-run shot against Arizona, the 11-0 win. Quickly 0-2.
You know, as a pitcher, Vetter's come back with 2 strikes back-to-back. Like, that's a great, you know, piece of pitching right there. And you want to build on that and get your confidence in those pitches, and that's what she's doing right now.
Yeah, Evansville trying to limit the damage if you can here in the bottom of the first.
You know, you'll see she's still staying away, so she's really trying to get that ball to go to the left side of the field to really get that out at home.
Tries again, no chase, 1-2. Swing and a miss, and Vetter gets the K, 2 gone.
Yeah, you know, she did a great job on that, coming back on that at bat. I mean, she walked in a run and then to come back and strike out, you know, what a great piece of pitching right there. And you can see that ball is perfectly placed, slightly off the plate, and really, you know, attacking that outside corner with that screwball.
Here's Ashley Prengy, the Ohio State transfer out of New Palestine, Indiana. What a wonderful opening weekend she had. 583 at the plate, 5 RBIs, 2 home runs, both coming in 1 game out in Tucson.
You know, with 2 outs, Vetter has a little bit more flexibility now. You know, she can throw, you know, pitches everywhere and really try and, you know, make something happen.
Just missed, 3-0.
As a pitcher, you're really trying to work down right now. I mean, if you keep missing up in the zone, your goal is to get those pitches just a little bit down, a little bit more snackable for those hitters to try and bite at, you know?
Yeah, the miss has been pretty consistent from Izzy Vetter. Gets that one, 3-1.
Yeah, definitely going back to her screwball. Looks like that's more of her go-to pitch when she's a little bit more behind. So as a hitter, once you recognize that, then you can kind of look out for it and know what to attack.
Too far inside, another RBI walk for Alabama as Prengy drives in good night, and the Tide leads it 2-0. And now Megan Bloodworth, the freshman from Cordell, Georgia. Heck of a start to her career last weekend. Georgia Gatorade Player of the Year last year, hit 600 in Tucson with 7 RBIs and 3 home runs, including 2 in her first game as a member of Alabama. Her first, a grand slam in the first inning. And here we are, bases loaded in the bottom of the first.
As a hitter, this is such a fun opportunity. You know the pitcher's working and she's maybe not throwing as many consistent pitches, so, you know, as a hitter, you're really looking for an up pitch, something that you can drive, make the pitcher work, throw more pitches, and that's what Alabama's doing, and that's why they're, you know, having some success this inning, is really just making Vetter work and throw more pitches and just see the ball.
You see the count there already, 40 pitches from Izzy Vetter in the first. 1-2, hard foul.
As you can see, Vetter's definitely going to her screwball as a go-to pitch. So, you know, as a hitter, you're kind of looking for that. As you know, as the game progresses, you kind of see what the pitcher goes to are, and you really want to attack those pitches because those are what's going to be in the zone.
It's been an adventurous inning. Walk, hit by pitch, strikeout, RBI walk, strikeout, RBI walk. The 1-2. Low, 2-2.
Yeah, that's a great job by Vetter, keeping the ball low, missing low. If you're going to miss, they always say miss low. So, I mean, she's doing her job, especially in a 1-2 count. Now we're going to see what she's going to go with in a 2-2 with bases loaded, 2 outs.
Oh, Bloodworth, hard foul.
Again, that's Bloodworth attacking that screwball, right? Doing a great job with that pitch.
Oh.
Yeah, so what you're seeing is an illegal pitch as Vetter didn't release the ball. So, you know, as a pitcher, bases loaded, not what you're looking for, but, you know, another opportunity to really attack the zone right here.
Seen a lot of things over the years, Caitlin. I haven't seen something quite like that. Not how you want to load the count as Bloodworth fouls it back.
Yeah, I mean, you know, this is the first inning, and we always practice 3-2, bases loaded, bottom of the inning, and that's what they're in right now. So as Alabama, this is great practice for these types of situations, and as a pitcher, this is a great opportunity for you to learn from it and really attack the zone.
And that hits Bloodworth. So Bloodworth on the RBI hit by pitch brings in Tao, and the free bases continue as Alabama takes a 3-0 lead. Matt Mundell chatting with our home plate umpire, Annette Bergman. No change in the circle. As you see, Coach Mundell, 8th year at Evansville. And here he comes to chat with the Purple Aces defense.
You know, right now he's just telling his girls to calm down. You know, you just need an out. That's all you really need. So, I mean, he's really trying to calm the energy, make things happen, and really just get his girls to get this next out. As a pitcher, your goal right now is to attack the zone. You know, she's a little, you know, all over, and she's really trying to hone in on her pitches and just focus down and get those strikes and, you know, give her team an opportunity to make some plays.
Yeah, Vetter trying to work out of this jam. And with more on Izzy Vetter, let's check in with Kira. Kira, what's up?
Yeah, we talked to Coach earlier this week, and he said when this pitch is on, it's great. But when it's off, she has the opportunity to potentially hit some batters. So he said we're going to be on the lookout for that. You might see that, and it looks like we're seeing that today.
Yeah, the control issues have been there. A couple hit by pitches, 3 walks. And now Savannah Woodard swings at the first pitch. Woodard, the junior, out of Warrior, Alabama. Member of the all-newcomer team last year in the SEC. Did not get a hit out in Tucson. Was 0 for 4 with a walk.
Yeah, Woodard right now is looking for something low she can drive.
Just missed again, 2-1.
Again, you're seeing Vetter go back to her screwball, and, you know, right now she's just trying to build her confidence. That, as a pitcher, that's one of the most important things that you can have is confidence, and once you get it, you're good to go. So she's really trying to find that right now.
I mean, if you're Vetter, you have to keep in mind, Alabama still doesn't have a hit yet. Just too many free passes.
Yeah, and, you know, it's all about winning the freebie war, and right now, you know, Vetter needs to get those pitches a little bit more honed in on the zone so she gives her team an opportunity to make those great plays.
Fouled off, count runs full.
Woodard's looking down, you know, trying to attack that screwball, which Vetter's probably going to go to, and, you know, just really get her hands in front of the ball and make sure the ball's in fair territory, as, you know, they've been missing a lot foul lately.
Payoff, swing and a miss. And Vetter strikes out the side, around 3 walks and a couple hit by pitches, but Alabama leaves them loaded. Vetter gets the K, and we head to the second. Crimson Tide on top 3-0 here on day 1 of the Eastern Bama Bash. Well, Jayla Torrance, a strong start for the Crimson Tide after the leadoff single. Kate, she had 3 straight strikeouts in the top of the first.
Yeah, lots of swing and misses, and that's what you're trying to do as a pitcher, is really establish your zone, your pitches, and really, you know, make sure the pitches are hitting their spots, which they are.
3-run lead for Alabama, 3-0. You see the line for Torrance thus far. Facing 5, 6, 7 in the order. Haley Wolf, senior out of Blue Springs, Missouri. Oh for 10 opening weekend. Looking for her first hit of the year. It won't come there, 1 down.
Yeah, I mean, that was a great pitch, keeping it low. That's what you want to see, you know, from the pitchers, is just keep the ball low and get the ball on the ground and see what your defense can do and put yourself in a great position to have your teammates make those plays for you.
Entering the day, Alabama first in the SEC in fielding percentage, just 1 error on the season thus far. Jenna Nink now. Nink, the sophomore, transfer out of Northern Illinois from Ottawa, Illinois. 0 for 2 with a run scored. One and one.
Yeah, Torrance is really establishing that low outside pitch, which is, as a hitter, is one of the toughest pitches to hit. Keep your hands extended on it, and she's really attacking the zone and making them swing at those pitches.
You see the numbers for Nink. Another big cut, 1-2.
Yeah, right now as a hitter, you're just trying to keep your hands, you know, on time. You want to be on time every pitch and just stay in there. And, you know, Torrance does have a lot of speed, so as hitters, it's a little bit tougher. You see them back in the box. They're trying to see the ball as long as possible.
A hard shot out to left, and Nink is aboard. Second hit of the day for the Purple Aces.
Yeah, she was definitely on time on that pitch. Her hands were out in front of the ball, which is where you want to be to get that in the 5-6 hole right there. Great job.
In steps Hannah Hood, junior from Newburgh, Indiana. Barnhart quickly up. Hood entered the day first in the Missouri Valley in runs scored, first in hits. A 9 for 19 opening weekend with 5 RBIs. And that's just foul.
Yeah, she's really attacking that screwball, that inside pitch, getting her hands out in front a little bit early, you know, but, you know, really trying to make something happen, keep the ball hard on the ground. You have a runner on first, you're really trying to poke something through and move the runner over. Horns back with that low and inside pitch. Really attacking the zone. Doing a great job establishing that zone and really, you know, making the Evansville hitters swing the bat and try and make something happen.
Here's the 1-2 from Torrance. Foul. Good to see so many folks braving the cold here in Tuscaloosa to come watch this game. Should be a even bigger crowd for the next one, featuring number 2 Alabama, number 8 Virginia Tech. Wind still blowing hard in here at Rhodes. That checks in. Off goes Nink. Runner in scoring position for the Purple Aces here in the second.
That's a great base running right there. She really saw that pitch low in the dirt and just went for it, and putting herself in a position to make things happen and limit that the play at second. So, you know, definitely puts a little bit of pressure off the hitter and hopefully, you know, can move her over.
Upstairs, full count. Evansville was 1 for 6 against Middle Tennessee with runners in scoring position. Hits were hard to come by in the 4-2 loss to the Blue Raiders. First loss of the year for the Purple Aces. Swing and a miss. Barnhart will have to throw to first. Strikeout converted, 2 down. And I'm sure that strikeout very pleasing to the Hall of Famer, Alabama head coach Patrick Murphy. 24th season in Tuscaloosa. 1,150 wins all time for the Crimson Tide. 2012 national champion a decade ago. Trying to recapture the magic here in 2022. Here's Alexa Davis. Sophomore from Westfield, Indiana. Had the walk-off single in the 9-8 win over Southern in opening weekend. Hit .750 with 4 RBIs to start her sophomore campaign.
Yeah, right now, 2 outs as a hitter, you're just trying to keep the inning alive. You're trying to keep, you know, make something happen, get on base, move your runner over, and keep the inning going.
Swing and a miss, 1-2.
Torrance definitely put a lot of heat on that last pitch and really, you know, came right in and really making, you know, the hitter question that pitch and bring some speed to it.
Davis lays off. Evansville trying to answer back. And that's past Tao, out to right. Here comes Nink. The throw from Woodard gets away from Barnhart. Evansville's on the board. And Davis slides in safely at second. The Aces strike back here in the top of the second. 3-1 Crimson Tide.
Yeah, you can see Davis really attack that pitch. Like I said, keep the inning going, and she did just that by getting the ball through the defense, the infield on defense.
Big time hit for Alexa Davis.
And just aggressive base running as well. Really got to second base, and that's what you want to do.
Mackenzie McFerrin will try and keep it rolling here in the second, senior out of Nashville, Illinois. Quickly down 0-2.
Torrance does a great job coming right back at him. You know, getting those first 2 strikes. As a pitcher, that's what you want to do. Something happens, that's okay. Shake it off and attack the next pitch, which is just what she did. Great job by Torrance.
First game together, you're already reading my mind. I was about to say the same thing to you. Torrance will try and get out of the jam here, the 0-2. Just missed.
And again, no harm, right? 0-2, you don't want it to be too close to the plate. You're trying to make them swing and miss on that last pitch.
McFerrin stays alive. Evansville trying to get a little closer on the scoreboard. This is the first game they have played against a ranked team since February 18th, 2018. It's back in Athens against the Georgia Bulldogs. McFerrin to center, and Dowling has to back up a deep short instead. She makes the catch, and Torrance is out of the jam. But Evansville strikes back. 3-1 Crimson Tide off to the bottom of the second here at Rose.
Back in Rhodes House, Alabama up 3-1. We were talking about Coach Patrick Murphy. It was announced that he would be an inductee into the Alabama Hall of Fame class of 2022. When I got a chance to talk to him and ask him how he found out and what happened, he said he got the call. It was somebody from the Hall of Fame, and he could have sworn they were calling about Haley McClenny. He had no idea they were calling about him. He was so surprised. It was such an honor. And he said the first person to text him after it was announced was Eli Gold. So he said this was an incredible honor for him, and he's super excited to be inducted.
Yeah, thanks, Kira. That banquet on May 7th, Alabama's got a game that day against Missouri. That's at 1 o'clock, so big day for Patrick Murphy in early May. And what an honor, the first person from the sport of softball to be inducted into the Alabama Sports Hall of Fame. Very prestigious Hall of Fame. Lots of famous folks from many sports been inducted over the years. 0-1 to Johnson, popped up. And McFerrin is there, 1 down.
You know, Vetter did a great job coming back after that tough first inning and just really establishing the zone. As a pitcher, that's what you're trying to do. Establish your zone, your pitches, have command over them, and, you know, make the Alabama hitters work.
Here's Dallas Goodnight, the freshman. Was hit by a pitch, scored a run in the first. Goodnight, very versatile, as we talked about earlier, can bunt, can slap, can hit for power, had a home run out in Tucson to open the season. There's a bunt. In comes Wood, the throw nowhere close to in time, and Goodnight's aboard.
Yeah, you know, Goodnight saw that opportunity with the players all back. You know, she had a great opportunity right there just to drop the bunt and get on first. And, you know, as a leadoff, that's what you're trying to do.
First hit of the ball game for the Crimson Tide. Now Kaylee Tao, she was also hit by a pitch and also scored in the first. There goes Goodnight. And now she'll take off for third. Stolen base error puts Dallas Goodnight 60 feet away.
Yeah, what made that base running was so effective was she just didn't hesitate. And, you know, once you hesitate, you might get out, so you can't hesitate, and that's exactly what she did. Aggressive base running creates chaos and puts you in a position to score, which is where she's at third right now.
Goodnight 5 for 5 in swipes this year. The error charged to Jenna Liss behind the dish.
you know, and Tao's approach can change a little bit because now her runner is 60 feet closer, you know, so now she can make some things happen, you know, pop up to the outfield, anything through the defense, and just, you know, get that runner to score and add another run.
Yeah, with Goodnight's speed, pretty much anything on the ground will probably score her from third. Goodnight, one of those Patrick Murphy green light girls. Straight up the chute, and now drifting towards third. Catch made by Wood, 2 gone.
That's exactly what Vetter's trying to do with that up pitch, is get that spin on the ball and force the hitters to pop up and really keep their team in the game. You know, Evansville does a great job keeping that runner at third, especially with that speed, and now they have 2 outs. Their approach changes. They can stay back a little bit more and, you know, make those plays.
And a change coming for Alabama. Allie Shipman will get the first at-bat of her career in this stadium wearing an Alabama uniform, the Tennessee transfer out of Valencia, California. Fantastic on opening weekend at 364. Hitting for Barnhart. We'll see if that is a change made on defense as well when we get to the third. And something we saw in Tucson, Kate, Allie Shipman not afraid to be aggressive. In 9 of the 11 at-bats that she had, she swung on the first pitch.
Yeah, you know, every hitter's approach is different, and hers is aggressive, and it seems to be working for her. Vetter definitely getting ahead, working the count a little bit more and getting a little bit more consistent and getting that confidence back as a pitcher. Again, it's the most important part of the game as a pitcher, so she's really trying to get that confidence, get the ball down, and to make things happen.
Shipman stays alive. A notable transfer is Allie Shipman, as is Ashley Prangy. Shipman able to play immediately with the SEC waiving the rule that you have to sit out a year for interconference transfers.
As a pitcher, you know this is a great hitter, and you're really not trying to keep too much on the plate, especially 0-2. So that's why that ball was so high up. Was, you know, you want to keep it away, get a different view on the batter, keep their eyes down.
Shipman stays alive. Good softball lineage for Allie Shipman. Her sister Madison, All-American at Tennessee.
It's an athletic family. Her brother played football at Cal Poly Slow.
Shipman ripped to third. Goodnight will score, and there's nothing the Evansville defense can do. 4-1 Crimson Tide.
Yeah, tough play at third, but man, kept that ball on the infield, which is all you can do with that play. Yeah, you'll see she tried to get that backhand, but man, that ball was coming down the line. That's why they call it the hot corner right there. Exactly that reason.
RBI single for Shipman. And Goodnight scores unearned as Dowling takes ball 1. Bailey Dowling had the RBI walk back in the first.
Yeah, Shipman did a great job with that. Your goal with 2 outs is just to keep the inning alive, and she did just that. Hit it hard on the ground and create a little bit of chaos.
And doing so coming right off the bench as well. Dowling lifts that foul.
You can see this inning, Vetter's definitely controlling that zone a little bit more, you know, getting way more first pitch strikes and, you know, two strike at bats, which is tough as a hitter to, you know, make something happen with.
Alabama offering a little bit more at the rise here in this second inning. Dowling didn't go fishing there, 2-2.
Yeah, she's calling that timeout just to reset, you know, make sure they're all on the same page and attack with her pitch.
Another long at bat from Bailey Dowling.
Yeah, once you hit a 2-strike mode, you're really just trying to hit down through the ball, keep the ball on the ground, and, you know, try and make something happen on offense. The same goes for the defense. You're trying to make that third out, make something happen. As a pitcher, you're trying to give your defense an opportunity to make that third out.
You're going back to that screwball if you're better?
I would. Yeah. It's their go-to. Trust it.
Dowling back to the circle, and Vetter fires to first to end the frame, but Alabama answers back. We have played 2 in Tuscaloosa. Alabama 4, Evansville 1, here on day 1 of the Eastern Bama Bash. I hope you've got the hand warmers. Lots of folks bundled up here in Tuscaloosa. Off to the top of the third, Alabama leading Evansville 4-1. Lots of scoring, not a ton of hitting. Here to start things off. 5 runs combined, 5 hits. It's been the free passes, Kate, that's been an issue for Evansville.
Yeah, you know, they're really trying to limit the amount of freebies that they're giving Alabama and really keep themselves in the game. And, you know, they're really just trying to make things happen. As a leadoff hitter, that's your goal, just get on base. And that's what she's going to do in this next at-bat.
Yeah, that leadoff hitter is Jessica Fair, who does have a hit. She singled back in the first to start the game. There you see Fair. Tough play, and it just rolls foul. Good job by Jayla Torrance and Allie Shipman, who did stay in to catch on communicating there to make sure nobody touched it too early.
Now that we're going through the second time around the lineup, Torrance is going to expand the zone a little bit. She has a little bit more knowledge on these hitters, and she's going to go to her strengths.
As a hitter, Kate, what adjustments are you trying to make against a pitcher like Torrance?
Yeah, I mean, Torrance is throwing a lot of strikes, so you're trying to attack those pitches, be on time, and make something happen. Torrance keeps the ball down, so you're really trying to elevate that ball or even just hit it hard through the infield.
Off speed upstairs, 2-2.
Yeah, Fair's done a great job so far of attacking those pitches, and, you know, the rest of the team should follow suit and just, you know, if it's there, go for it. Be aggressive.
Wind is as still right now as it's been all afternoon. Big cut, got away from Shipman. She'll have to hurry, but strikeout converted, 1 gone.
Yeah, Shipman did a great job jumping right out there. I didn't even see it till it was already out of her hand.
Usually with the drop third strike, you'll see it go behind the catcher. One of the very rare times it almost got to the circle.
Yeah, I've never seen that. Today's a first.
Well, we're used to usually seeing things we've never seen before here on these broadcasts. New year, same sport. Here is Sydney Weatherford. She struck out back in the first. Gets a piece of that one.
You definitely see them being a little bit more aggressive, this time around the lineup. They've seen Torrance already once, so they kind of know what they're expecting and just improving upon each at-bat.
Just high, 1-1. And there's that off-speed pitch from Torrance in there for strike 2.
Yeah, that change in speed is something that's so effective as a pitcher. Makes the hitter freeze up a little bit and really, establishes that pitch, which is so important as a pitcher.
And then, Kate, you follow it with heat like that.
Yeah, that low and away, that's a great spot, especially, 1-2, you're really trying to expand the zone a little bit, get that swing and miss, or, even a foul ball, and just make that hitter go for it. And that's exactly what she did. She's got great command of her pitches and, just really working on expanding the zone and forcing those hitters to swing.
Fouled off again. Nice long at bat.
Yeah, Torrance is just keeping that ball low and forcing those hitters to try and elevate a little bit, make something happen.
That's out to right. That's a base hit. Sydney Weatherford converts. Runner on with 1 out for Evansville. Monday night, our next SEC Inside grants you an all-access pass to the Georgia Lady Bulldogs women's basketball program at a special time of 10:30 Eastern, 9:30 Central. Then it's a look at the number 2 ranked Auburn's men team. You'll never see footage like this anywhere else. Also sound from players and coaches. That's all right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. Oh, 1 to Merrill Wood in the dirt. 1-1. Nice pitch from Jayla Torrance. That pitch count now at 56. Creeping up just a bit.
Yeah, you can definitely see the changes Evansville is making and really trying to make sure that they're making Torrance throw a little bit more pitches and attacking those good pitches. You see that they keep fouling off more pitches, significantly more than that first inning. So second time around, they're really taking those learnings and going with it.
Another swing and a miss. Shipman will throw to second as Weatherford took off.
That was smart base running. When you are on offense, you are trying to, like I said earlier, create chaos, and that's exactly what you do. You want to be aggressive on the base paths, try and do something that the infield is not expecting, and that's exactly what she did by taking that next base.
A throw just a bit wide from Shipman. So Weatherford in scoring position. Here's Jenna Liss. Liss 0 for 1. She struck out in the first. Weatherford credited for the advancement to second on a wild pitch. There you see Jenna Liss hitting .250 with runners in scoring position this year. She's got a strong lineage as well. Her dad, Joe, played baseball at South Florida and with the Blue Jays. Her grandfather, Joe Liss Sr., played pro with the Phillies, Twins, out in Cleveland and with the Mariners.
Yeah, Liss right now is, again, trying to make this inning interesting and fun and trying to move her runner over and keep it alive. You know, make something happen with that offense.
To third, Prangy's got it. Inning over. Evansville strands a runner in scoring position, and we head to the bottom of the third. Alabama 4, Evansville 1, here on the SEC Network. Off to the bottom of the third, Alabama 4, Evansville 1. Pleased to be joined by the head coach of the Evansville Purple Aces, Matt Mundell. And Coach, Izzy Vetter has struggled a little bit with her control, but has kept Alabama off balance. What have you been telling her when she's been out of the circle to try and calm her down?
That emotion was just a little high that first inning, and she was right there just missing. So just trying to stay with herself a little bit. I mean, she's a great pitcher, and her ball moves, and today was just moving a little bit too much early, but she'll settle in and get going for us.
Yeah, Coach, also now it's your second time around the lineup facing Torrance. What changes have you guys made from that first time around into the second?
Yeah, just trying to get on time. She's a little bit faster than the pitcher that we saw, that first game specifically. And, so just trying to get our girls on time and just believe that they can do it. And, we're getting some hits. We just need to get them all together or string them together.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck the rest of the way.
All right, thank you.
That is Evansville head coach Matt Mundell. And there is his hurler, Izzy Vetter. Just 2 hits allowed, but it has been the free passes. That's been the issue. 3 walks and 3 hit by pitches, starting off with Abby Dorr, who pops it up. And a nice snag by Wood for out number 1.
Yeah, those are some of the toughest plays to make, especially with this wind blowing in different directions. She did a great job staying on that ball the entire time. You see her arm, going towards the dugout fence to feel it out and know where she's at all times.
Patrick Murphy had to scoot out of the way. It's Prangy up the middle. And Fair's got the throw, and very quickly, 2 pitches, 2 outs. Now Megan Bloodworth, she had an RBI and a hit by pitch back in the first, her 8th RBI of her freshman campaign. And interesting, Kate, to see Vetter go with the off speed on the first pitch. Coach Mundell said that's not really in the repertoire very much.
No, but she's really trying to mix it up, and as she gets more confidence, she's going to get confidence to throw all of her other pitches. And if something's not working, your next option is to go to the next best thing, and that's what she's doing, is really establishing that pitch, showing Alabama that she has it, and making them think about that changeup.
Bloodworth stays alive. Beautiful pitch from Vetter for strike 3. And Alabama goes quietly here in the bottom of the third. Izzy Vetter with another K. Alabama still leads 4-1 on Evansville. Alabama leads Evansville 4-1 here in Tuscaloosa, a frigid Tuscaloosa as we head to the top of the fourth. Jayla Torrance back out in the circle to pitch for the Crimson Tide. We're pleased to be joined by the Alabama head man, Patrick Murphy. Coach, 4 runs on 2 hits thus far. What have you seen from your offense?
Nothing. Walks and hit by pitches. That's how we scored, so we got to do a better job up to bat.
Yeah, Coach, what are you seeing from Torrance as she sees these hitters a couple more times through the lineup?
I think she's been getting ahead pretty much the whole game. Changeup needs to be a little bit better. I think she's throwing with some velocity, and when she gets ahead of hitters, she's really, really tough to hit.
Thank you, Coach.
Okay, thanks for being here.
It's Alabama head coach Patrick Murphy talking about Jayla Torrance getting ahead. You see the line. 3 innings, 4 hits, the 1 earned run, her first allowed of the year, and 6 strikeouts. Starts it off with a first pitch strike to Haley Wolf, and maybe just as impressive, Kate, 8 innings of work this year thus far, and no walks given up by Torrance.
Yeah, as a pitcher, that is your goal. Keep those walks down, and that's just what she's doing.
There have been a couple 3-ball counts against Torrance, but no free passes as of yet.
Yeah, she's really commanding the zone today and honing in on those pitches. And that's what you look to see, and just continuing to get better and expanding upon those.
Wolf 0 for 1. She grounded out to second, back in the second. Lays off there, 2-2. Swing and a miss, and Torrance has strikeout number 7.
Again, went a little bit up on that pitch and just forcing that hitter to go for it. Looked super juicy, and she wanted it.
Well, a great weekend here in Tuscaloosa, but my goodness, there is so much happening down in Florida at the St. Pete Clearwater Elite Invitational. 40 games over 4 days, 37 of those games with at least one top 25 team. Multiple top 10 matchups. We just saw one end a bit ago as Florida State beat Texas. What a tournament.
And there's that off speed that Coach Murphy was talking about from Torrance.
Facing Jenna Nink, who singled and scored back in the second. And quickly Torrance ahead 0-2. Another strikeout.
Yeah, that's a great job by Torrance, keeping the ball low and slow and really forcing the Evansville hitters to chase that pitch.
Jayla Torrance has 8 Ks. She had 9 against Southern Utah. That tied her career high. Looks to be well on her way to setting a new mark. Hannah Hood, that one sails. Second game of the day for Evansville. They lost earlier this morning to Middle Tennessee 4-2. Alabama's got number 8 Virginia Tech. Up next, we'll have that game for you here on the SEC Network.
Yeah, you see Hood show bunt on that last pitch, and she's just trying to see what the defense is going to do and kind of see where they're positioned and see if she can make something happen with a bunt and maybe draw them in a little bit.
Clips the inside edge, 2-2. I think, Kate, what's been really impressive, when Torrance has gotten behind, the very rare times it's happened, 2-0, 2-1, we've seen her come back and clip the zone.
Yeah, she's super consistent right now and just attacking that zone. And
that is a fair ball. Prangy throws to first. Side retired. 3 up, 3 down. Torrance working a gem as we head to the bottom of the 4th. Alabama 4, Evansville 1. Oh yeah, UCLA, Florida State coming up on Sunday night to close out the St. Pete Clearwater Elite Invitational. That one will now be on ESPN, and what a battle it'll be between the Bruins and the Seminoles. The Noles backed up by a wonderful pitching staff. Impact transfer Mac Leonard hitting over 600 this year. The Bruins in a battle right now down on the beach, 2-2, bottom 7 against Northwestern. It's Woodard bunts that one foul. I mean, Kate, we've seen the St. Pete Clearwater Elite Invitational for a couple years now. Didn't have it last year because of COVID protocol, but it's back, and gosh, what a field, including your Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
yes, my alma mater. Great team, great school, great competition overall at St.
It's a hefty name, the St. Pete Clearwater Elite Invitational.
Yeah, I just refer to it as Clearwater,
That's
and
right.
you
Of
know,
course.
just like Palm Springs, great tournament as well, Marionetta Classic.
Exactly. And what a way to close it out with UCLA and Florida State. It's coming up Sunday night on ESPN. A lot of hot topics coming out of Clearwater. Tennessee's ace, Ashley Rogers, out for the remainder of the tournament due to a health issue. Was sent to the hospital yesterday, unavailable for the rest of the weekend. Certainly hope she'll be back and healthy soon. Alabama played in Clearwater a couple years ago, got an 8-0 win over Washington in 5 innings. Trying to have a big performance here in the Eastern Bama Bash. Already up 4-1 on Evansville. Woodard stays alive, 2-2. It's 9-1-2, Woodard, Johnson, and Goodnight here in the 4th. Evansville has had issues in this inning. Over half of the runs they've allowed this year have come in the 4th.
It's all about that first out, establishing that and, you know, putting your defense in a position to have success and get that first runner out, get that confidence there.
Slap to short. This will be a tough play, and Fair can't even make one. Woodard is aboard with her first base hit of 2022.
Woodard did such a great job reading the defense on that last entire at-bat. You know, she really started slapping, bunting, you know, making something happen and really putting herself off as a great leadoff, setting it up for Johnson.
And turning the lineup over. Johnson 0 for 1. Lays down a bunt. Very tough play, and again, no play to be made by the Purple Aces. 2 on, nobody out for the Crimson Tide.
Yeah, you see she shows bunt, try to move her runner over, sacrifice bunt right there. And that's just a bit of a communication error, a little overrun right there by Vetter.
Jenna Johnson had that squeeze bunt to score a run in the SEC Tournament Championship last year against Florida. Successful again with the small ball. Now Goodnight. Vetter's got this one. The throw is in time, but the sacrifice puts 2 runners in scoring position for Kaylee Tao.
Yeah, she just did a great job getting the ball on the ground and moving her runners over.
And here is the 3-time All-American. 0 for 1 today. I referenced earlier the lone senior. Just to clarify, because of COVID years, there are multiple seniors on the team, but she's the only one who is in her true final year of eligibility. Trying to go out with a bang. Quickly behind 0-2.
Yeah, Vetter's trying to get ahead and, you know, get those strikes. And she's doing a great job of that this inning.
Tao out to center. This should be deep enough. Here comes Woodard, and the sac fly from Kaylee Tao puts Alabama up 5-1.
Yeah, Tao does a great job getting that ball deep enough to score that run.
That's Tao's 4th RBI of the year. No movement from Johnson at second. Here's Allie Shipman. First pitch swinging yet again. That's out of play. Shipman 1 for 1, had the RBI single, the hot shot to third back in the second. But Kate, after the power display that we saw in Tucson, this is more along the lines of what this Alabama offense has been the last couple of years. Manufacturing runs with a couple RBI walks, RBI hit by pitch, a sac fly, an RBI single. Just manufacturing.
Absolutely. And you see Vetter, her pitch count's a little high. It's definitely gotten better throughout the innings as she settles down a little bit and just really making her pitches move and her pitches work for her.
Are you alarmed at all with the pitch count, currently at 95?
You know, softball pitchers, they know. They throw tons of pitches all the time, and they always have been. So, you know, many years of travel ball experience prepares you for these types of situations.
There is Shipman, way back, way gone. Allie Shipman's first game at Rhodes in an Alabama uniform, and she's got a 2-run blast. (7-1) Crimson Tide.
Yeah, you see Shipman really attack this pitch that was just left a little bit too far down the middle and just get a little bit under it, get that backspin to get that ball out of the park. Great job by her, great hands.
I just talked about manufacturing runs, and Allie Shipman said, come on, Gray, we still hit the long ball here. That is Shipman's second home run of 2022. Now Alabama up 6. Here's Bailey Dowling. Dowling 0 for 1. RBI walk in the first, ground out in the second. Allie Shipman came on for Aubrey Barnhart earlier in the game, and that move has worked for the Crimson Tide.
And you really see Vetter come back and throw that next strike right away after something happens, and that's what you're trying to do as a pitcher, is you're trying to come right back at him.
Hammered by Dowling. And all the more impressive on that home run, the wind is still blowing pretty fiercely in.
Yeah, she got all of that, Gray.
Dowling gets a hold of this one, out to right, off the top of the wall. Dowling is heading for third. And Bailey Dowling, a couple inches from a home run, still secures a 2-out triple.
Yeah, Dowling does a great job keeping her hands up on that pitch and going right with it.
Yeah, Dowling got on her horse, heading for third when she saw Nink was taking a second to get the throw in.
And that's what you're going to see with Alabama. You're going to see that aggressive base running, making things happen and getting their runners in scoring position. And she did just that.
I think a good job as well by Dowling to not just assume that was a home run. I mean, it was a couple inches away from getting out of here, but was running full speed, and that gave her a chance to get to third.
Yeah, you can see Evansville call a little timeout, reset, regroup, and go right at her.
Trying to go after Abby Dorr. 3-0 count to Dorr, who's 0 for 2. Strikeout victim in the first. Fouled out in the third on that great catch by Wood. Smack dab on top of the wall and just got a bad hop for Dowling. And you can hear Patrick Murphy yelling, "Pass it down," to Abby Dorr in the box. Full count.
Yeah, you definitely see Vetter coming with a little bit more off speed as the game continues.
Dorr stays alive. Payoff to Dorr, and that eats up McFerrin. Dowling scores. Alabama's lead is 7. It's 8-1.
Again, with 2 outs, you're just trying to keep the inning alive, keep things going, and really just get yourself on base, move your runners over, and do what you can. And that's just what she did on that last pitch.
Abby Dorr is given the RBI single as McKay Gidley comes out to run. There you see Gidley, sophomore, transfer from Shelton State, right here in Tuscaloosa. And now a longer timeout as Matt Mundell chats with the entire infield for Evansville. 4 runs in the inning for the Crimson Tide on 5 hits. Alabama had relied on walks, hit by pitches, a sac fly, an RBI single to get the first couple runs on the board, but a 2-run shot from Allie Shipman, a triple from Bailey Dowling, and an RBI single from Abby Dorr.
Yeah, you can definitely see Vetter's pitch count going down by the inning. Definitely seeing a little bit more pitches in the fourth than in the other second and third innings, but, you know, overall, getting a little bit better by the inning.
Looks like everything's all set now for Ashley Prangy. Prangy 0 for 1, RBI walk in the first, ground out back in the third. Vetter attacking early, 0-1. Alabama 4 for 7 today with 2 outs. Out to right. Nink on the run makes a nice catch to retire the side, but Alabama gets the bats rolling. Allie Shipman, a long ball, business as usual for this offense. And then a little fun. 8-1 Crimson Tide off to the 5th. 8-1 Alabama off to the 5th. 4 runs for the Crimson Tide in the bottom of the 4th. So Evansville will try and answer back. Starting off with Alexa Davis. And for more on Davis, who's had such a good start to the year, let's check in with Kira.
Yeah, Alexa Davis, last year she wasn't able to get her pitching career started. The only thing she could do was pinch hit, so she contributed as a runner. Coach Mundell said he's very happy to see that this year she's really bringing the heat in the outfield and at the plate. And, you know, guys, that's really what we're seeing here today, is she is responsible for Evansville's 1 run on the board.
Yeah, thanks, Kira. That was an RBI single back in the second. Davis with a .583 average with all of today's stats updated. .2-0 from Torrance gets the chase, 2-1. Well hit to center. Good night on the run. 1 down.
Goodnight does a great job just tracking that ball down the entire time and covering quite a bit of ground with that speed that she has.
Well, Alabama has a history of fantastic center fielders. Haley McClunney, Alyssa Brown, who recently graduated, Brittany Rogers. So many throughout this program. There you see McClunney out on the outfield wall on Team USA. Many view her currently as the best softball player in the world right now. Led off for Team USA at the Olympics last year. Two and 0 to Mackenzie McFerrin. She popped out back in the second. Yeah. 2-1 now to McFerrin. Yeah, good night patrolling out in center. I just mentioned Alyssa Brown, and Kira's got more on the recently graduated Alabama center fielder. Kira?
Marketing department, and it's really interesting. She came here to help out, and Coach Murphy said that he wanted to keep the best and the brightest at home. He said if there's a job that fits her, why not get her to stay? So it's pretty cool that now she works the marketing department right out of school.
Yeah, ran into Alyssa earlier today. after seeing her in a uniform for so many years.
I don't know.
3-1 fouled off, count runs full.
Yeah, even with one out, McPheron's really looking to start things off, get something rolling for her team, get on base.
Slap to short, and nothing Dowling can do. Nicely done by Mackenzie McPheron. One out single.
Yeah, she does a great job just getting that bounce slap down in that 5-6 hole. And as a slapper, the more bounces, the more time in the air, the more coverage you have down the line. And that's your goal. It's really just to give yourself time to be safe at first.
That turns the lineup over for Evansville. You're thinking you probably need to get some scoring here in this inning. Alabama just one run away from the run rule being brought into play.
Yeah, with the runner on first, Fair's now looking, move that runner over, as well as get herself on base. Get in score position right now.
Single back in the first, struck out in the third. One of Torrance's 8. Shipman up quickly, looking at McPheron, 1-1. Jessica Fair trying to get a big hit. One of the leaders on this team. One of the upperclassmen, a senior. Biology major. Well-accomplished career for Evansville. Works the count full.
Yeah, you can see Torrance working outside on this hitter, especially with the runner at first, trying to keep the ball on the left side of the field so they can get that lead runner out at second and hopefully get the double play.
Alabama turned one double play last weekend out in Tucson. And that is the first walk allowed by Jayla Torrance this year. And all of a sudden, 2 on with 1 out for Evansville here in the top of the 5th. And here is the talented freshman, Sydney Weatherford, 1 for 2. Had 10 RBIs in opening weekend. And a good chance here for the Purple Aces if they want to try and get back in this game.
Yeah, right now, Shipman's probably just going to tell Torrance, settle down. You know, we're ahead 8-1, no harm. We have a force out at third and second and first, so you know we're in a great position. Torrance does a great job keeping the ball down and giving her defense an opportunity to make some plays, and that's all she's trying to do right now.
Yeah, this is really the first time we've seen Torrance fall behind early in counts, and now that pitch count starting to creep up, 93 for the sophomore. That's already a new career high in pitches. Previous was 87 last year in a win against North Alabama.
Yeah, Evansville definitely making her work a little bit more, making her throw more pitches, and that also gives them the opportunity to see more pitches, see what her go-tos are as well as the game progresses and they get more at-bats.
Weatherford up the middle. Bloodworth a flip. Couldn't get to second, and now coming home is McFerrin. And Evansville gets another run up on the board, 8-2.
Yeah, you see Weatherford hit that ball perfectly placed up the middle. Try to make something happen at second and affords them the run at home.
Bloodworth tried the fancy flip, but just not enough mustard on it. And McFerrin didn't stop running. First and second, one out.
Yeah, they did a great job being aggressive on the base path on that last play.
Strike one to Wood. So Evansville trying to get something going, and they usually rely on a purple cowboy hat to make that happen. Let's check in with Kira. What's the deal with that, Kira?
Yeah, down here in the dugout, when they get hyped, they bring out this purple hat. It belongs to one of the pitchers. Her name is Brooke, and she had it bedazzled. It's just something that they can rally around, something that makes the energy in the dugout really fun. They actually have a couple fun traditions. They also punch a piece of paper when they meet their goals for the inning. So this is just something that they bring out to help them keep their energy high and their focus on the game.
Yeah, thanks, Kira. I knew this suit was missing something. I need that purple cowboy hat.
I think it looked great on you, Gray.
Thank you. Wouldn't have to worry about all this hair. To short, Dowling. There's one. Bloodworth couldn't turn it, but the force is collected. Two gone, runners on the corners.
Yeah, Wood does a great job of moving her runner over to third and putting her in scoring position.
So with 2 on and 2 out, Evansville turning to a pinch hitter. That's Alyssa Barella, the senior from Riverside, California. Hit 250 opening weekend with an RBI and a home run.
Yeah, when you're on defense right now in that first and third play, especially with 2 outs, it's interesting to see what the offense is going to do. Are they going to try and take that base or play it a little bit more safe and, you know, give the opportunity to their hitter?
And if you're Barella, what's your mindset right now? Coming into pinch hit, you're cold off the bench. It is cold in general, and this is the best chance your offense has had pretty much all game.
Yeah, right now Barella, again, trying to hit the ball on the ground and hard, especially because Torrance throws the ball low. You know, you're really trying to hit a hard ground ball and, you know, make the defense work.
Scoots away from Shipman. Off goes Wood to second. Torrance over 100 pitches, a bit of a dicey situation here in the 5th.
Yeah, right now Barella's going to be a little bit more selective. 3-0, not as common of a count in today's game, but, you know, let's see what Torrance does with this.
Too high, 4-pitch walk. Bases loaded for the Purple Aces here in the 5th. No movement from Patrick Murphy. But you do see some action. Fouts Kilfoyle warming up just in case. Here's Haley Wolf. Starts off with a foul. Wolf 0 for 2. Ground out back in the 2nd, strikeout in the 4th. Still looking for her first hit of 2022, and what a time this would be to get it. Dory Brown into pinch run. over at first, freshman from Keller, Texas. Coach Mundell wants speed on the bases. Change up in there, 0-2.
Again, because Torrance doesn't, usually walk as many girls, she's going to attack. And that's exactly what she's doing. Getting that 0-2 after a walk is crucial as a pitcher. You're really trying to get back in it and get that confidence up and, make the next hitter work for it.
Low and away. Torrance have been cruising, but 2 hits given up. Couple walks here in this inning.
You can definitely see Evansville is really making those adjustments each at bat. Every player has progressively gotten a little bit better and making Alabama work a little bit more.
To second, Bloodworth. To first, inning over. Evansville leaves them loaded, but the Purple Aces do get a run. Alabama will try and answer back as we head to the bottom of the 5th. 8-2 Crimson Tide over the Purple Aces here in Tuscaloosa. Well, the Alabama offense picked things up in the bottom of the 4th. Allie Shipman earlier, coming off the bench, had a hot shot to third, an RBI single. And then her next time up, just destroyed a ball into a fierce wind, a 2-run homer out to center. Her first long ball here at Tuscaloosa in an Alabama uniform for the Tennessee transfer. Alabama leads it 8-2 off to the bottom of the 5th. We welcome you back to the booth. Ray Robertson, my All-American partner, Kate Brooks. What a game we have seen. Alabama was manufacturing things early, but my goodness, the bats came alive in the 4th inning.
Yeah, absolutely. They've just been really capitalizing on the errors and, making things happen and really making Vetter work. And that's what they're doing, and they're doing a great job of it, and they're going to continue doing it. And
if you're Evansville, you just had a chance to get more. You left the bases loaded. Now you've got to make sure Alabama doesn't score 2 more runs here in this inning,
right,
so we play a 6th.
Absolutely, and Evansville, they've slowly, progressively started getting those bats more alive, and they're going to continue doing that throughout the game.
Well, Vetter is facing 8-9-1, Bloodworth, Woodard, Johnson. Starting off with Megan Bloodworth. 1-2 to the freshman, who had an RBI hit by pitch in the 1st, struck out looking back in the 3rd. Big cut there. So much good softball here this weekend. Got a top 10 matchup coming up between Alabama and Virginia Tech.
Absolutely going to be a pitcher's duel.
It's what we expect. A lot of good stuff down in Clearwater. Northwestern just walked off UCLA 6-4 in extras. But I was talking to our friend Amanda Scarborough from ESPN, and we were saying, outside of all the good stuff at Clearwater, the game to see is Alabama, Virginia Tech, and we get it twice this weekend, Kate.
Very excited. Both teams have so much great things going for them. Great pitching, great defense, great hitting. So it's going to be a great matchup, and I can't wait to be a part of it.
Alabama looking to get to that matchup at 5-0. Bloodworth stays alive, remains a full count. Bloodworth crushed. If it's fair, it's gone. It's foul. Second time Alabama has had it curved just a bit too far to the left. But yeah, Bloodworth wearing that number 33, a number very popular in the Alabama program. And for more on that, let's toss to Kira.
Coach Murphy and she said, hey, text me all of the phone numbers for the freshmen. She said, I want to send them a little message. And she reached out to every single one of them. She said, don't be nervous. I can remember that moment. And she was just really supportive to all the younger people on this team. So that team love, it doesn't go away, does it?
No, it doesn't, and it clearly worked for Megan Bloodworth. 6 for 10 opening weekend, 7 RBIs, 3 home runs. In the air to deep second, and McFerrin makes the catch for out number 1.
And that's great job by Vetter, getting that first out. You know, that's what you're trying to do on the mound, is put your defense in a position to make those routine plays, which is exactly what she did.
Now the 9 hitter, Savannah Woodard. Strikeout in the first, singled and scored back in the 4th. Sav getting the start out in right field. Patrick Murphy said opening weekend did not provide a lot of clarity for the right field position. Said we could see a lot of folks in that spot this weekend. But Savannah Woodard making a nice case here in this game. Another hit for the 9 hitter.
Yeah, she definitely saw the opening with the corners back, and with her speed, she just got that bunt down and ran to first, and really they couldn't do anything with it. The one thing that I was always told is speed never slumps, and that's for sure here.
And that turns the lineup over again for Jenna Johnson. Oh, and that is ripped. Johnson 1 for 2. Walked and scored in the first, pop out in the second, singled and scored in the 4th. Alabama now with 8 hits. Johnson lays it down, misplayed by Vetter. And she says, my bad. 2 on, 1 out for the Crimson Tide.
Yeah, that definitely looked like a bunt and run where the runner was going the whole time, and as a hitter, your job is to get that bunt down and make sure that your runner can get to the next base safely.
Well, Johnson succeeds. It is a fielding error by the pitcher. Sack bunt for Johnson.
You definitely see Alabama starting to really be a little bit more dynamic with their at-bats, putting the bunt down, showing bunt. I mean, all 3 of these hitters on the field right now have shown bunt in their at-bats and gotten on base.
But Goodnight also has the pop. She's 1 for 1. Scored after being hit by a pitch in the first, singled and scored in the second. Sack in the 4th, that slapped to short. Nothing Fair can do, bases loaded.
Yeah, you can see Alabama's really starting to change it up a bit. That looked like a hit and run. The runner was going the whole time. Yeah, as you can see, you know, the hitter's job on that play is to keep the ball on the ground and make sure that their runner can get to the next base safely. And that's exactly what she did. I mean, you get the sign and you get it done, and they executed those plays.
Johnson at second is the run rule run. As Tao swings and misses, 8 runs or more after 5, and the game's over. So you see Tao leading the notable returners. Woodard's over there on third. Johnson at second. 3-time All-American Kaylee Tao at the plate. 0 for 1 today. Was hit by a pitch in the first, pop out in the second, sac fly, RBI in the 4th.
What's interesting is Evansville right now is playing back, and normally with a runner on third, your defense is in.
Yeah, perhaps not wanting anything to get by.
Or maybe they have great arms and they trust themselves to get that out at home, although, you know.
There's Tao to left. Here comes Woodard. Johnson is heading for third, and Goodnight takes second as Kaylee Tao has another sac fly, and Alabama's lead is 7-9-2. So that game-ending run now stands at third for Allie Shipman, who has been impressive since entering the game off the bench.
Tao did a great job on that, you know, runner on third, less than 2 outs. You're trying to get that runner in. If that's a sac fly, if that's a hard hit ball on the ground, whatever it is, you know, she put it in the air and afforded that run to come in. And with 2 outs now, Shipman's approach changes a little bit. And, you know, she might not want it out in the air. She might want to get it a little bit harder on the ground.
That's a fair ball. The throw to first is just in time. And Vetter gets out of it. We will play a 6th. Alabama 9, Evansville 2. Off to the top of the 6th. Purple Aces will try and get some more runs when we return. Well, our friends are back. The 7 Innings podcast has returned with the full cast: Beth Mowens, Michelle Smith, Jenny Dalton-Hill, Kayla Breaux, Madison Shipman, Amanda Scarborough, Jen Schroeder. Premier came out earlier this week talking about changes for the 2022 season. Of course, a big preview for St. Pete. The recap will be next week, and conference previews as well. At St. Pete Clearwater Elite Invitational, again, we've seen a lot of interesting results out there. Northwestern walking off UCLA. I'm sure that'll be discussed next week on the podcast. Auburn up 4-0 on Texas in the top of the 2nd. I'm just excited, Kate, because I woke up the other day and turned on the TV at 9 a.m. There was softball on.
All day, every day, and that is the goal.
Yes. Glad you're with us here on the SEC Network. Gray Robertson, Kate Brooks, Kira Goldstein patrolling down below. Alabama leads it 9-2. Some defensive changes for the Crimson Tide that we'll give to you in just a moment. First pitch, a strike to Jenna Nink. 6-7-8 due up for the Purple Aces. Nink 1 for 2, singled and scored back in the 2nd, a strikeout in the 4th. Feels like Torrance has been stuck on 8 Ks for a while. Swing and a miss, and there's number 9. That ties the career high in strikeouts for Jayla Torrance. And here are the defensive changes for the Crimson Tide. Stevens is in, out in right field. Kat Grill has come in left for Johnson. And some changes on the infield as well. Jenna Lord over at 3rd. Callie Hevlin in at 2nd.
And this is what you want to see with, you know, your team. You want, when you're this far ahead, it gives the other players some opportunities to get some field time and, you know, be seasoned. And if something happens, they're ready to jump right in.
So only Tao and Dowling are in on the infield currently compared to what we saw in the starting lineup. And to add to the changes, Evansville going with a pinch hitter, 5th-year senior Elise Hickey out of Hanover Park, Illinois. Hickey has a walk this year and a run scored.
The one thing I love about this game is that, you know, the mindset, if they can do it, so can you. And Coach Mundell talks about all about resilience and how their team is resilient. And that's what they're trying to do right now, is just make it simple. Get on base, score some runs.
Didn't get the desired result from Hickey. A subdued called strike 3, which gives Jayla Torrance a new career high in Ks at 10. Nobody really reacted, but here's another pinch hitter. Brooke McCorkle. That's the second chance for Hevlin to make a play. Good flip. 3 up, 3 down. The freshman does a nice bit of glove work in the field, and Alabama will try and end it early. Off to the bottom of the 6th, 9-2 Crimson Tide over Evansville. Game summary thus far. Alabama up 9-2 on Evansville. Tide out hitting the Purple Aces 9-6. Izzy Vetter struggled with control early, and then Alabama started to hit her hard. Jayla Torrance with 10 strikeouts. That's a new career high for her. Allie Shipman had a home run earlier. Bailey Dowling had a triple, and Dowling is up to start things off here in the bottom of the 6th. Glad you're with us here on the SEC Network. First of 2. Coming up next, Alabama, Virginia Tech. Gray Robertson, my All-American partner, former member of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Kate Brooks. Garrett Goldstein also here for the entire weekend. Dowling 1 for 2. RBI walk in the first. Ground out in the second and a triple in the 4th. She did come in to score later on in the inning. To short. Nice backhand by Fair. The throw to first is mishandled by Wolf, and Dowling is aboard. Error charged to Wolf at first, the 3rd error of the game. And now a pitching change incoming for the Purple Aces. We will step aside. We'll see who the new hurler is for the Purple Aces when we get back. Alabama up 9-2 on Evansville in the bottom of the 6th. Well, the game-ending run for Alabama stands on first, so Evansville makes a change in the circle. And head coach Matt Mundell turns to the freshman out of Tremont, Illinois, Paige McAllister.
Yeah, what you're going to see from McAllister is definitely more fastball, screw, curve. She definitely, has a little bit of rise and a changeup, which, Vetter doesn't have as much of an off-speed, so we'll definitely see McAllister's off-speed a little bit more.
And McAllister replaces the senior Izzy Vetter. An up-and-down performance for Vetter. Had some issues with walks, free passes, 135 pitches. So that surely had to play a factor as well for taking her out of the game. Pinch hitter for the Crimson Tide, KJ Haney. Haney, the sophomore from Douglasville, Georgia. Oh for 1 on the year. Quickly, McAllister falls behind 3-0. It's got to be tough, Kate, to come out of the pen. You're trying to make sure you play a 7th inning, and there's already a runner on base.
Absolutely, and it's great practice right now, just getting used to these types of experiences, and that's what McAllister's trying to do, is start to, again, establish her zone, get her pitches, create her own confidence in that circle, and own the mound.
Perhaps some nerves early 4-pitch walk to Haney. Game-ending run now on second for Jenna Lord, another freshman getting a chance here. Trussville, Alabama native, out of Hewitt-Trussville High School, top 20 in the extra inning softball 2021 recruiting class. Had 83 RBIs her senior year in high school. 0 for 1 on the young season here in 2022. Dowling heads for third. And the game-ending run stands 60 feet away, 2-0 count to Lord.
Yeah, right now you're definitely seeing McAllister keep the ball a little too high right now in the zone, and what she's going to start to focus on is keeping the ball down and giving her defense an opportunity to get a couple outs and get out of the inning.
But also, with nobody out, anything on the ground or in the air deep enough will end this ball game. So Matt Mundell comes out to chat with the infield, make sure everybody knows the plan.
And he's probably also telling them, you know what, calm down, relax, it's softball, it's just a game, you know how to play it, you gotta trust yourself, trust your defense, trust each other, and have fun.
Yeah, Coach Mundell, when we asked him 3 words to describe his team, he said fun, competitive, and he said they're all fighters. Well, Paige McAllister trying to fight out of this jam in the bottom of the 6th to help keep this game going. 3-0. Another 4-pitch walk, bases loaded for Alabama.
You know, the nice thing as a pitcher is you know that that base is open and nothing really changes. If anything, it gives you a couple more options to get some more out. So, you know, no harm on that walk. You know, just attack this next hitter and go right at her.
That next hitter is Callie Hevlin, freshman from Three Rivers, Michigan. And there's a strike. Hevlin, the 2021 Michigan Gatorade Player of the Year, holds the Michigan single-season home run record. She's 0 for 1 here in 2022. It's a piece of that, 0-2.
Yeah, and you see that off speed from McAllister. Hopefully she starts to mix that in and, you know, slower pitch stays in the ballpark a little bit easier, so might be helpful.
Upstairs, 1-2. Alabama 5 of 12 with runners on, 4 of 9 with runners in scoring position. Situationals have been strong. Also capitalized on 5 walks drawn, a plethora of hit by pitches. High and tight, full count. Liz will go chat with McAllister. She got ahead 0-2, but 3 straight balls.
Sometimes as a catcher, your role is to refocus your pitcher and kind of take a little pause, refocus, reset, attack on the next pitch.
Well, it's got to be in the zone. Anything outside, and an RBI walk would end this game. Here's the payoff to Hevlin. Upstairs, and that'll do it. The RBI walk from Callie Hevlin ends this one in 6, and Alabama moves to 5-0 after the 10-2 win over Evansville.
Yeah, you know, the one thing Alabama did that was so great in this game is they attacked those missed pitches and they made things happen for the entire offense. And, you know, Shipman had that home run. The 4th inning was just a great spot for Alabama to really, you know, expand the score.
And so that's game 1, but there's more coming up later tonight. For Caitlin Brooks, for Kira Goldstein, for our entire crew, I'm Gray Robertson saying so long from Tuscaloosa, where our final score is Alabama 10, Evansville 2 in 6 innings. Coming up next, we'll have more softball for you as the 2nd-ranked Crimson Tide take on the number 8 Virginia Tech Hokies. Thank you for joining us. This has been a presentation of the SEC ESPN Network. See you in a bit, folks.